Hi everyone, I'm Marcy, and today I'm making homemade pumpkin empanadas. I had this big beautiful pumpkin that I used for harvest decor, and now that that's passed and we're already moving on to Christmas, I didn't want it to go to waste, so I thought I'll make pumpkin empanadas, and then why not shoot a video, because I know that you'll love this recipe. But first, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button because that would really help me out. And let's get cooking. In case you don't know what empanadas are, they're basically turnovers. In Mexican cuisine, we have savory empanadas, which are filled with all kinds of meat, and then we have sweet ones that are filled with all kinds of fruit and custards. And I'm definitely partial to the sweet ones, particularly pumpkin, so I'm really excited to share this recipe with you. Here's what you're going to need. For the dough, you'll need 3 cups all-purpose flour, 1/3 cup sugar, half a teaspoon salt, 1/4 teaspoon baking powder, 1 cup chilled unsalted butter or shortening, and 1 cup warm water. And for the filling, you'll need 2 cups pumpkin puree. As I mentioned, I happen to have a pumpkin, and last night I cut it up, took out the seeds, and baked it for about an hour to make my own fresh puree. And if you want to do the same, I'll include directions on how to do that in the description box below. It really is easy to do, but obviously you can still buy pumpkin puree in a can, and this is probably just shy of 2 cups, which is what the recipe calls for, but I still think it's going to work. Now you're also going to need half a cup of sugar, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1 tablespoon pumpkin spice, and half a teaspoon vanilla extract. And then instead of making an egg wash at the end, I'm just going to use a little bit of milk. So let's go ahead and get started making the dough. I'm going to put all the dry ingredients into a large bowl and mix it up. Then I'll add the chilled butter. You'll notice that mine is cut into small cubes. This just makes it easier to work with. And I'm going to use a pastry blender to break it all up. You want the butter to be well incorporated into the flour mixture. Once it looks like this, you can begin adding the water a little at a time. You don't want to pour it all in at once because you may not need it all. We're just looking for a nice consistency where all the dough sticks together. And it's a good thing I didn't use all the water because I'm not going to need any more. And I don't even think I used, but let me see. I used about half a cup. This looks done, and I don't want to overknead it, so I'm just going to stop right there and wrap it up. Once you've got the right consistency, form the dough into a ball, wrap it in plastic wrap, and place it in the refrigerator for half an hour. While that's chilling, we'll prepare our pumpkin filling. I've got my 2 cups of puree in a large mixing bowl. To it, I'm going to add the sugar, salt, pumpkin spice, and vanilla extract. I'll give it a good mix, and that's it. When your dough is chilled, take it out of the refrigerator, form it into little balls, and lightly flour a flat surface so you can roll it out with a rolling pin. I gotta be honest with you, as far as dough goes, this one is a little more difficult to work with. But I like it because of the way it tastes, so I'm willing to struggle a little more while rolling it. You don't need to worry about rolling perfectly round circles anyway, because we're going to round it out when we trim it. Now place a couple of tablespoons of pumpkin filling in the middle. Take a knife and cut little slits on the other side of the dough to serve as heat vents. Fold it over. Cut the edges to form a half circle. I've got this little roller thing that I've been using for years, but you can also use just a regular knife, and be sure to save the leftover pieces because they can be re-rolled. Then I pinch the sides together with a fork, and that's it. You've got an empanada. I'll go ahead and make the rest of these. When I was a kid, my mom used to get really fancy when she would carve these little vents into the dough. And in fact, she used to carve each of our initials. And it was always so exciting when we would have our own personalized empanada. Just kind of a fun little memory. But I always think, boy, that's kind of hard to do because she had to take into account flipping it over. So she was doing it in reverse. And what's funny is I'm not very good at doing this part. Once you've got all your empanadas on your lightly greased baking sheet, you can brush on an egg wash made from whisking together 1 egg yolk with a tablespoon of milk or water. Or you can just brush on milk by itself, which is what I'm doing this time. Then we bake at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes or until they're golden brown. There you have it, homemade pumpkin empanadas that are perfect with a hot cup of coffee or a cold glass of milk. I'm going to break one open so you can see what they look like on the inside, and then I'll give it a taste. I love all things pumpkin spice. And these empanadas wrapped in this sweet, delicious dough are just so yummy. I really hope you try them. Thanks so much for checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it helps me out. You can also follow me at Marcy Inspired on Instagram and Facebook. Until next time, blessings from my kitchen to yours.